Hello, and welcome to the ThinkJSOU webinar series, brought to you by the Office for Strategic Engagements at the Joint Special Operations University. Today, we are pleased to present a distinguished speaker. This session is unclassified and will be recorded and posted to the JSOU network. Please keep in mind that the views and opinions expressed by all participants do not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, or policies of the United States government, the Department of Defense, the U.S. Special Operations Command, and the Joint Special Operations University. If you have questions after the session, please email thinkjsou@jsou.edu.
Welcome to the Joint Special Operations University Non-Resident Fellow Program associated with the College of Special Operations Low Intensity Conflict and the Department of Special Operations Support to Resilience and Resistance. I am Christian Rampton, your host for this episode of ThinkJSOU, and our guest today is Lieutenant Colonel Steve Ferenzi. Lieutenant Colonel Ferenzi is an Army strategist and Special Forces officer currently serving as lead planner in Special Operations Command Central, J5. Thank you for being with us today on ThinkJSOU.
Thank you, Christian. Happy to be here today.
Now, I gave a very short introduction. However, I know everybody out there in the audience is going to want to know a little bit more about you. I was hoping you could give us a little bit about you as a person and academic.
So you mentioned that I currently serve in SOCs and J5. My previous experience includes time in USASOC G5's Strategic Planning Division as a strategist, 3rd Special Forces Group, and the 82nd Airborne Division. As an academic, I am fortunate that the Army funded my master's degree from Columbia University and then allowed me to serve as an assistant professor of defense and strategic studies at West Point. My time at West Point allowed me to think deeply about topics such as proxy warfare and insurgency, which led to my first foray into writing articles. I remain active publishing today to drive discussion across the defense community.
That's fascinating because I actually read one of your articles just a few days ago. Will you tell us why you decided to apply for the fellowship, and now that you are one, what you hope to achieve during your time with JSOU?
Absolutely. So I saw the fellowship as a great opportunity to participate in JSOU's Think, Do, Tank culture. On the Think side, JSOU's publications have influenced me from my days as a young SF captain through today as a TSOC strategist. On the Do side, probably one of the least known but most powerful aspects is the outsized partnership building value that JSOU offers to the TSOCs. JSOU's education-based security cooperation, both CONUS and through mobile education teams, are a true force multiplier in soft partner force engagement for the TSOCs. My specific research aims to examine irregular warfare-focused deterrence, or what we are calling irregular deterrence, as a critical complement to conventional and nuclear capabilities. Our adversaries are outcompeting us below the threshold of what constitutes traditional deterrence. Aircraft carriers, submarines, tanks, they're all insufficient to deter adversary gray zone behavior. So there's a gap in both practice and academia on irregular deterrence. The Cold War produced a rich body of literature on traditional deterrence. Thomas Schelling, Alexander George, Richard Smoke, just to name a few. Contrasted with today, the gap on irregular deterrence demands a robust, multidisciplinary approach. So I've written previously on the ways that irregular warfare contributes to deterrence by denial and punishment. These include cognitive access denial, physical denial through support to resistance, and financial access denial. With cognitive access denial, think about psychological resilience to withstand, fight through, and recover from adversary subversion and information warfare. With physical denial, think about resistance, the ability to resist an adversary's occupation of your country, building capability up front that will signal that it's too costly to occupy the country. On financial access denial, think about financial resilience against adversary economic coercion, such as debt trap diplomacy that you see with China today in its approach to the Belt and Road Initiative. So I hope to further these ideas with more rigor, incorporating disciplines like psychology, behavioral economics, and most importantly, interagency perspectives, which we seem to lack today.
That vision, right? That vision you just shared with it for your research, it can take you in many directions. When working with this university that is focused on joint special operations, can you share with us how your work might impact special operations?
Yeah, so bottom line, this work should help articulate SOF's value to the joint force. Not just counterterrorism as narrowly perceived, but the broader application of irregular warfare to strategic competition and integrated deterrence.
Well, you've highlighted, right, areas for possible exploration that will require a dedication of time and effort beyond, or that goes beyond 2024 when the non-resident fellowship is done. It's a 1-year time period. And so that's when your time ends with the university, even though we hope you could come back after that. So the question that I've got after that is, in your opinion, what is the second most pressing special operations gap that you wish you could research, and could you elaborate upon this topic a little for our audience?
Absolutely. So deterrence and escalation management are intricately linked. But unfortunately today, discourse on so-called integrated deterrence lacks this nuance concerning escalatory dynamics. So for decision makers, how does irregular warfare affect escalation, both in lowering risk and providing off-ramps? We lack a coherent framework that could inform such decisions on when and how to use irregular warfare. So back to Cold War literature, like Herman Kahn, this could include concepts such as the escalation ladder, where he proposed 44 rungs ranging from sub-crisis maneuvering to civilization-destroying nuclear exchanges. We must be thinking in similar ways today to describe irregular warfare contributions to a new ladder, with both vertical and horizontal rungs that incorporate the full spectrum of interagency tools.
Well, I've got to say, Steve, that's a lot of information in a very short period of time, and there's a lot of ground to cover in 12 months or less. And then you've talked to us about where we go after 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, ThinkJSOU introduces you to the non-resident fellow, Lieutenant Colonel Steve Ferenzi. I hope you're here with us as we continue forward into the future as we explore these topics for the Joint Special Operations community. Thank you and have a great night.